question, Free Range Friday with your host, Marianne Cantwell.
Hi there, Marianne Cantwell, and welcome to Free Question Free Range Friday. We got in a whole bunch of fantastic questions for the very first Free Range Friday, so cheers to you. Victoria asks, hi Victoria. Victoria says, I'm desperate to get out of my current job, but I have no current gig set up yet. Is there a guerrilla tactic that you've ever heard from someone who got out without a safety net? Maybe someone who got fired or just snapped. If you had to quit your job cold turkey with no safety net, what would you do to get on your feet as soon as possible? Great question, Victoria. Now before I answer that, I'm going to read out the second question, which is related, and that second question is from Ellie. Hey Ellie. Ellie asks, I'm extremely unhappy in my job, and I feel like it's not allowing me the space I need to figure out what I want to do. Should I resign, or should I wait until I have set up my free range life first? Sorry to hear that, Ellie, that sucks, but great question, thank you. Now I am going to take both Victoria and Ellie up on this a little bit personally, get up close and personal here, because Victoria, Ellie, I have been in touch with both of you before, haven't I? Victoria, we were first in touch at least 1.5 years ago. Ellie, it was about 6 months ago, I think, I first was in touch with you. So the question is, in that time, 1.5 years, 6 months, have you made material progress towards escaping the 9-to-5, or are you just 6 months, 1.5 years older than you are then and just more frustrated? If you have not made material progress towards that free range life because your job is getting in the way, then I'm going to ask you, is it likely that in the next 6 months, in the next 1.5 years, something is going to change to push you towards making progress? Here are the things to ask yourself. You're thinking, should I quit? Is this a good idea? Have you tried for a while to get out of that 9-to-5 grind and failed because of your job? And that's a very important distinction. Not because you don't have the knowledge, not because you haven't done a course, not because you haven't learnt something, but because you are frankly completely screwed after a day's work. If your job is getting in the way of the life that you want to live, then honey, most people don't have a cookie cutter perfect pathway to where they are. Most people get really tired of going around, in that hamster wheel, like that, and just decide to take action on their own terms. In fact, I've got a quote for you from someone who I've become a big fan of. Her name's Margaret Heffernan. She is an entrepreneur in the UK, and Margaret Heffernan's done a bit of work with successful female entrepreneurs, trying to work out what qualities they have in common. Now, Margaret says that the people she looked at typically started out by leaping, and they did so, and listen up to this, they did so typically when they had no products, no customers, and critically, no safety net. Go for that again. No products, no customers, no safety net. Sounding familiar yet? They didn't have a plan B, she said, if anything went wrong. They did not believe they could go back to corporate life. That's really important. They did not have a plan B, did not believe they'd go back to corporate life. Instead, they felt that everything they stood for and believed in was on the line. What's important about these people is that they took huge risks, but they had no intrinsic love of danger. They were not adrenaline junkies. They wanted to get to safety as fast as possible and stay there. Sounding familiar? I'm really resonating here. Their mantra, she says, could have been borrowed from the adventure traveller Robert Young Pelton, who said, I am not afraid of danger, I am afraid of living miserably. So, let me get this clear. You are free to hang out and figure out your business before quitting your job, but if that's not working out for you and you really know in your heart of hearts it ain't going to work out, then here are some things you can do to make money when you have quit without a safety net. Number one, sell what you have, not that. Girls, sell whatever it is you have to sell. If you can cook, cook and sell it. If you have experience in your old field, and you do, because it's your old field, hint, then package that up and do some consulting around it. So a little personal story, when I quit my job, I had enough money for the first few months, but a little personal change in circumstances, broke up with boyfriend, happened, and I found myself needing more money, moved out of the house. Within the month actually of quitting my job, I was in a different circumstance than I thought I would be in financially. So yes, I'd set things up, and yes, I thought things would be okay, but turns out I had to make a lot more money than I thought I would have had to make. So what did I do? I'll tell you that in step 2. So that's step 1, okay? Sell what you have to sell. You can start by making a list of things you have some experience in, things you have contacts in, things you'd like to explore. That's number 1. Number 2 on my little free range list here is to create opportunities. So look, don't sit around waiting for things to happen, and don't sit there in your job trying to predict exactly what's going to happen when you're out there. Do stuff that will bring in money, but also give you the time and mental space. And when I suddenly had to make a lot more money than I expected, I did that by, well, I'd gone out, I met lots of people, I decided, you know what, I'm going to work in my old field. I'm going to go and get some consulting work in my old field because it's a quick win for me. So I was on an email list of a large coaching organisation, and one day I got an email from them, a group email that said, hey, we're doing some rebranding work, just letting you know you'll be receiving an invite to join a focus group and complete some surveys soon as we're doing some research. I happen to have a lot of experience as a marketing researcher and branding person, so I thought that email led to a phone call, which led to a gig, which led to 1 month's salary of mine being paid. On the way, I got some great experience and some insights into the coaching world and how that all worked, which I never would have got if I'd sat at home and said, that's not my passion anymore. Okay? Number 3, so instead of sitting at home going, oh, I'm not sure if this is right for me, procrastinating, taking out the trash, cleaning the bathroom, watching reruns of Friends. That's always a bit depressing. All those things which can happen if you have, this is the first time that you've been at home during the day, I would say instead of that, let's create some projects for you to do. Go to meetup.com, for example, create a group and start bringing people together that can meet up during the day around a particular interest. You can develop any ideas you have around that area by talking to people. So it's kind of a 2-pronged approach when you go out there without a safety net. One prong is, let's bring in some money while I'm figuring this out. And the second prong is around, let's develop some fun projects that I enjoy doing that get me out of the house and actually get my brain ticking over to take me to a different place where I can create that great free range life. When you become your own boss, that starts the moment you quit your job. So that starts, even if you haven't got a business off the ground, it starts the very first day that you wake up in the morning in your bed and you don't have to go to work. You are your boss from that moment. So act like it. Don't be at the whim of other people. Don't wait for the perfect piece of advice to land in your inbox. Take control and create your own opportunities. Victoria, Ellie, and everyone else, that was my answer to your question. If you like this, please share it on the interwebs, share it with your friends, like it on Facebook, have a party at your place on a Friday night, and invite everyone over to watch the video. Or just like it on Facebook, that's also very cool. And if you're not on my newsletter list right now, what you're doing? You're missing out on Friday email. So get on the newsletter list by signing up below. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, get to my website below and then get on the newsletter list. And you'll be in for a whole bunch of more Friday fun. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next Friday for the Free Range Friday Love Letter. Bye bye.